Mothers and fathers, husbands and wives, sisters and brothers, friends for life, won't live in the past. All I wanna do now is making it last. Mothers and fathers, sisters and brothers, friends forever.
What's the whole idea of a sisterhood? That is what we're going to be talking about today. This is Nurin Daily, and welcome to Making It Last podcast. And I have with me it's a pity it's not video, but three good-looking ladies. Boy, one of them not looking too good, but anyway, in terms of the facial expression. But anyway, we have Kareema Gravesande, who according to her, she said that has roots in Ghana, but she classifies herself as a Caribbean woman. Yes, Kareema?
Yes.
Okay. We have Sabrina Atkinson. Where are you from, Sabrina?
I'm from the beautiful island of Jamaica.
And a little bit about you, Sabrina?
Well, I am a member of the NCU debate team. I am a part of the Computer and Information Science Department, computer science major, hackathon winner, conference presenter.
Okay.
The list goes on.
Thank you. And before we move on to Janique, Kareema, a little bit more about you outside of the fact that you're Caribbean.
Okay, well, I like to be extraordinary. I like to take risks, go out there and learn new things. I like to meet new people, but sometimes I cannot be a people person, yeah. So most of my days are spent learning new things about media, and I love media. I love communications. That's my passion.
Okay.
Also traveling, yeah.
Good. And last but definitely not least, Janique Crawford. Who is Janique?
Janique is a wonderful person from the beautiful, beautiful, beautiful parish of St. Andrew. She loves people. She has a great people personality. She loves counseling. And as time goes by, I'll find out more about Janique.
You'll find out more about it.
Yes.
I love it. Okay, so let me tell you why these three young ladies are going to speak about this whole idea of sisterhood. Kareema is part of what I'd call a triad. So it's Kareema, Lyra Carr, and Amelia Garcia.
Yes.
When you see them, they're always together. But what I have observed is that these are not just ladies who are friends. There's a sisterhood and a deeper connection going on. And I want Kareema to describe what that means for her in a bit. And Janique and Sabrina, well, as you would know by now, based on what Sabrina just said, because in one of my other lives, I deal with debating. So I met Sabrina through that. But Sabrina and Janique are roommates, but outside of that, they're not just friends. They have a sisterhood going on. So let's have Kareema describe what is happening for her.
Well, our sisterhood is genuine. It's real. Sometimes it can be very surreal because we are not from all the same backgrounds, so we didn't expect to meet people from different backgrounds with the same qualities that we look for in friendships. Mm-hmm. And because we would see that quality in each other, we have gravitated towards each other, and we also have a main goal and a main person in common amongst the three of us. We call ourselves the sisters in Christ. So we love God, and we want to please him and live for him. So because he is our main foundation of our friendship, that has made us stronger and made us more mature in our individual selves and as a sisterhood.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you said just now that you're from different backgrounds. You're from?
I'm from Guyana. Lyra is from Belize, and Amelia is from Cuba.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. When did the friendship evolve into a sisterhood?
Well, the friendship, let me give you some context. We all came in the year 2017, which is kind of, people would say coincidental. But Amelia and Lyra had a friendship or a connection before meeting at NCU. They participated in Bible Bowl competition in Cuba, and they would have won for their country and so forth. And then they came. So Amelia was a part of my class in the beginning of 2017 when we started NCU
together. Okay.
But we were always aware of each other, but not so much of a friendship because we all had different lives, different priorities, and so forth. And then it so happened that prolonging to that year, following after that semester, Lyra and I were in the same class. But something about her was very peculiar. So I asked her, I think, how old she was. Like, you know, I was just interested because she looked very young. And then, to my surprise, she was actually older than she looked. But that is a compliment. So from there, you know, we would go on international students trips and so forth. And then one trip, we sat together on the bus, Lyra and I, and then we became bonded from there. Like, we talked, we called, and she was more of the warmer person. Because for me, I'm not that person that would just reach out to somebody and, you know, talk my life story. But she was very genuine, and her demeanor and approach was very comforting. So I was like, well, you know, why should I refrain myself or hold back? Because she's giving me 100 and I should not be giving 50. So, you know, let's see how this goes. And we all decided that, hey, you know, we met Amelia and then we had this potluck at church. And from that conversation, that's where the friendship grew and blossomed. And yeah, it is what it is now. A sisterhood that, you know, when one leaves, we both, the other two feels detached, or we feel like, you know, a part of us is missing. So yeah, that's how it is.
Okay. Sabrina and Janique, when did this friendship that you have evolve into a sisterhood? Where I don't think I'm talking their business, but where it is that when one goes to the other house, the family house, it's not as if it's just a visitor. It's like just another member of the family.
Well, I don't think we can pinpoint an exact time when, you know, we say, okay, we're no longer just friends or sisters. But we started NCU at the same time, 2017. And just by, I wouldn't even say coincidence, as Kareema said, it was meant to be that I was supposed to be a third member in the room that was supposed to be a double room on dorm. And so my cousin was in the room, Jan was in the room, and then I became the hitchhiker, the person just dropped in the room. So she was actually worried that my cousin and I would form a bond and just leave her by the wayside. But that's not actually the case, because we actually grew closer. And eventually, like whenever I'd introduce her to my friends or, you know, people in my life, I'd say, oh, this is my roommate. And she said, no, I'm not your roommate. I'm not even your friend. I'm your sister. I'm like, okay. And then it just went on from there. I stopped introducing her as my roommate or my friend. She's now my sister. You?
Well, I mean, anybody who knows Sabrina sees that she have a bubbly personality from even
in
before.
Her other life bubbles.
Right. And she, even when I'm not in the mood, she's always there to cheer me on. The friendship evolved in such a way that I didn't understand, because I'm not too much attached to female friends. I'm not all about that. But something about her, you know, she was everything I can say I was hoping for in a friend and what I want in a friend. And I'm happy for that, right? And whenever we go to places, it's never like, she knows everything about me. You can ask her something right now and she tells you from the get-go. Sometimes I don't even know. And I appreciate that.
Okay. How has this sisterhood, made the friendship better? Kareema and Sabrina and Janique, how has this whole idea that it's not just my friend, this is my sister, what has that done for the relationship?
Well, it makes the relationship stronger and, in a sense, more realistic, because some persons go with this fantasy kind of mentality of friendships and relationships and expecting this from another person that they themselves can't even give to the other person. So in our friendship, we try not to pretend or be somebody, even if it is that we're uncomfortable with this type of situation. We will be very honest and transparent about it with each other. So it's all about communication. And if we feel like the other person is slacking off or we are slacking off, we let the other person know that this is what's happening, I don't feel this way. And then the other person will say, not every day you're going to feel that way, but you have to remember, why you're doing stuff, and what is the goal. So it's subconscious acts in our friendship and sisterhood that we remember that the other person is human. They have priorities, they have other responsibilities, and their lives wouldn't revolve around us. So that's a realistic fact. But that doesn't stop us from checking in on each other, even if it's a text, hey, how you doing? You had lunch. That's me. I would ask them that. You had lunch? What you doing? All of that. But you just have to make sure you're transparent, you're realistic, you're yourself, and they will have that open mindset once they're mature. My friends, my sisters, they're very, very mature. So they give me that space to grow, and they see my potential to become the best version of myself as I would with them.
Good. Sabrina and Janique?
Well, for us, it has given us another support system. So, I mean, you have your family and people that you came to university with who were your support system, but it has now evolved into something where I know if I come home and I have a bad day, and like she knows ahead of time that I had a bad day, and she's like, you want to talk about it? And then either I'll say no, or yeah, and then like we just talk for hours, and then it might move from just like me having a bad day to just random things. Like the other night we were talking about just some random stuff, and like we stopped in the middle of the conversation and we say, we do this a lot. Like a lot of the time we just like talk about everything and anything, and it has even got us to the point where we realize we've never had an argument, and we will never have an argument because of the relationship that we have. So we have an understanding of each other where if there's something wrong, we talk about it. If there's something that the other did that they don't like, we talk about it. You move past it. That's no longer an issue. So we have never had an argument, and I don't think the type of relationship that we have will allow us to have an argument.
Okay.
I mean, what says a lot about a person, especially a friend. Sometimes you can have a friend and you think that friend knows you or know what is going on in your life, but they don't. But when they can come and just a particular look on your face and they can tell that something is wrong without even asking, that says a lot. So, I mean, she says it all just now, It's a bond that will never be broken, not by anyone, not by any friends from before or any friends that will come after.
All right. Final question, ladies. How do you think others were listening? And yes, the focus is sisterhood, but even just other types of relationships. How do you think that the mindset that you have now about sisterhood, how do you think that others can adapt this lifestyle and then have better or healthier relationships?
Well, I have 3 principles that I would apply to myself when it comes to relationships, whether it be family or friendships or intimate relationships. I believe first stage is accepting. You have to accept that the person is human. They're going to be imperfect. And, you just accept that they will need that space to grow and that space to love themselves and become that best version that you can see. The next step is adjusting to what you would have accepted. If you can't adjust, some people get stuck at the acceptance phase. Then maybe the mature ones, they advance to adjusting, but adjusting kinds of pull and tugs at you and their character because you have to compromise. So when you would have reached that stage of adjusting, then you would maintain what you would have adjusted to. So constantly, making sure that the person is okay, that you are not over expecting from them, or you're not giving unrealistic expectations for the friendship or the relationship. So that's my 3 principles: accepting, adjusting, and maintaining.
Sabrina and Jenny?
Well, firstly, I'd have to say communication is key. And Jan says that a lot. Communication is key. I feel like once you're able to establish common ground when it comes on to communication, you know the things that offend the other person, and the other person understands how you work, the things that affect you. Then once you're able to communicate your feelings and be able to talk about what affects you, then you'll be able to build something that is long lasting. Secondly, understanding. Once you're able to be empathetic, you're able to not just make the friendship about you every time you're talking. It's, oh, me, today, I, me. Once you can put yourself in the other person's shoe, step out of your being and just understand what they're going through, understand, their life challenges, and just be there whilst not, making it all about you.
I want to say something that Kareema just said. She said about compromising. Compromising is also the key, because it doesn't work when you're giving your all and the other person just there. It has to be both ways. And I mean, for everything, you have to know how to work together. You have to know how to communicate, as Sabrina just says, because without that, it's just two people. It's no friendship, it's no sisterhood, it's no nothing. But yeah.
It's an interesting note to end on, but that is how we're gonna end it. Because a lot of times when people think about females and females being close, they don't recognize that sometimes you can get that strong sense of support. They always think the negative. So it was nice to highlight the positive that can happen when we have a sisterhood going on. This was Making It Last podcast. I'm your host, Noreen Daly. Until next time.
Mothers and fathers, husbands and wives, sisters and brothers.